Late show, real quick here. Keep the algorithm moving, see what everybody else is up to. Um, quick late session. Anybody that I don't know how, like as far as movies go or TV shows and stuff, I really don't get into all that much anymore. The older I've gotten, man, the more just weird it is as far as entertainment and whatnot. Like but anyways, there's a TV series, The Penguin, with Colin Farrell, and I might have said this the other night. I don't remember. Show's badass, man. Like, there's no Batman in it so far from what I've watched. So the show actually has some decent story to it, rather than just whoever they're gonna have playing Batman for the time being. Do his Bruce Wayne, whatever BS. But I don't know, man. It's pretty cool. Bad habit I have, actually good or bad, depending. And I love the fact that there is an internet Hollywood movie database of firearms. So, like for instance, there's a lot of movies and shows I'll watch just to see what guns are in it and whatnot. And like Walking Dead, man. I mean, Walking Dead, so many different firearms, or like I don't know, some of them like Sons of Anarchy and stuff like that. It's usually Glocks and crap over and over and over, nothing different or original. But it's always fun to point that out. Come up with some weird handgun bingo or some shit. I don't know. Anyways, that's kind of like my entertainment nowadays. That, or laughing at really shitty movies that have shitty editing. I mean, like Hallmark shows, like pointing out Mike Boomsticks, and then it dawned on me. Any of you guys that have streaming services, there's so many shows and movies and stuff that are complete utter crap. It makes you wonder why anybody would ever produce those productions and then actually want to put their name on it as producer and just taking that loss. Because I mean, let's face it, man, it's hard to find decent shows no matter what platform you're on nowadays. I mean, like I like Max personally, Disney for the kids or whatever, but like Netflix and Prime, man, have just been sucking lately. I mean, it's disappointing. But that's kind of my weird rant rave right there for the evening. If you guys haven't already, check out my Make It WAP or Wet Ass Pistol video on here. That there's that first shot tactical kid who, I don't know, dude, ginger. I mean, for starters, let's put it that way. But he's got like some vid he put out of like how to lubricate a rifle and all this stuff, and he's just selling merch, doing what he does or whatever. And I was like, you know what, dude, he's a ginger, so he's got no soul. I don't think it'll be too bad of a thing to make fun of this dude. So I popped on that Cardi B song, dude. I like busted out some Astroglide, lubing my gun up just to piss that dude off. And he'll probably never see it or anything like that. And I'm sure people will call me an asshole clout chaser, which they're not wrong. But hey, it's I don't know. I've never like the kids applying lube, dude, to the bolt carrier, right where your forward assist pushes and whatnot. And I'm just thinking, all that's going to do is that's going to collect all sorts of shit right on that. And if he has to use this forward assist, it's going to get gunked up, because people are under the impression that if they put oil on their gun, it's just going to keep it flat out clean and it'll slide like smooth. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, for a little while, you start shooting though, it'll also cake up powder residue and all sorts of shit. And I mean, like I've got some Lucas gun oil. Lucas oils are always pretty good for motorcycles, cars, pretty much anything for the most part. Pretty premium, good stuff. And I've had this Lucas gun oil for 14 years, man. And that stuff, I'll tell you, like 2 drops of it, boom. I mean, and for the most part, I mean, it's not like you have to use a ton, but like I said, being a little too liberal with the oil on your firearms, man, you can cause yourself problems later on. Some people, don't realize that some of these lubricants are actually flammable, and you have a firearm that spits fire out the muzzle of it, not to mention a lot of heat, breach, all that good stuff. I mean, it's not a lot of thought goes into a lot of things people do. Let's put it that way. It's like tannerite. We all know tannerite is badass, first off. Number 2, we all know people that mess around with tannerite usually do some very dumb shit and put videos of it on the internet. for people like us to watch. Um, but like Tannerite, man, like out here in South Dakota, they take it to a whole new level. Now I don't know other states or other places that it's legal, but out here when people are doing like baby gender reveals, they'll go set up stuff, put some sort of color or some shit like that in the Tannerite, and if it's a boy, it's pink when it blows up, all over the place. If it's or blue or whatever, if it's a girl, pink all over. I mean, dude, rednecks out here, man, it's freaking awesome. I love it. If you're going to blow up beaver dams with Tannerite, you just need to let the local law enforcement and Department of Natural Resources know ahead of time, just so they know that you're out there doing that, because I guess there's a beaver problem. It's kind of interesting. I thought that was very strange when I came across that, but yeah, anytime you use Tannerite to kill beavers, you need to let law enforcement know ahead of time or whatnot. And I just thought, is that a trick? Are they trying to get your ass thrown in jail before you go do it? Or is it like flat out like they just want to come hang out and watch? Who knows, dude? Who knows? But I don't know. That's some of the funny stuff going on, lately. There's more UFO talk with the government going on. That's always interesting, but it's always like you still feel like, okay, there's really not enough more info to go on. It's just speculation still at this point, unfortunately, but I don't know. Hell, that was kind of an interesting thing in the news. There's been a lot of people asking me about joining the military and their thoughts on, what's my thoughts and opinion. And my answer stays the same. It's a job nobody wants to do. Your hours suck. You don't get paid a whole lot, to be honest with you. But really asking somebody else's opinion for you to join, I would tell them to join if it were me. But the thing is everybody's different. You're going to get a different answer, reaction, and thoughts on the whole thing. Today's military is pretty woke, quite a bit. But you know what? If the right people were enlisted and the right people were moving up in it, and there was a decent leadership getting put into position and ranking up and going through or whatnot, then we could get these problems fixed. So my main thing about that, I guess, is how are we going to get it fixed if we don't have the right people in there doing the right thing for the job? And the one thing I really hate lately, though, and I will say this is the one thing that's really bothered me, though, and does need some help big time, is leadership. It's the decline. We were at war in the desert for 20 years. So, that exhausts a hell of a lot of people. If you think about it, all the guys that made it to their 20 years for retirement in the military, there was a war going on the entire time, for some of these people, like for their entire career. So, it's a crazy thing to think of, and you've got your enlisted guys working their way up, becoming sergeant majors and things like that. But then as far as on the officer side, to me, with the officers and everything like that, it seems like the people that are put into the higher up ranks and leadership positions, have been in there for ages, for starters. It's time to get some new people in there, get it straightened up, get it set up so our military is rebuilt. I don't know if any of you guys have been paying attention, but we've been doing stand-in and over in the Pacific, keeping an eye on China, because if there's possible conflict, who knows, any time it could happen with everything, how it's been going lately. I've been saying it for years. They've moved a bunch of the Marines out there, a bunch of them used. They've got, all sorts of naval ships heading out in that direction, all up and down that area. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But, a lot of nuke talk, Nintendo playing. Hell, that's kind of what it's become, right? But, thoughts on that, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. As far as firearms, I wrapped up the pistol malfunctions, things to do, corrections and whatnot. There is a reference in that video for like full maintenances that I have set up that, YouTube won't take down my stuff for, because it's been on my channel for quite some time now. It's actually some good stuff there. But it sucks because maintenance is for people with firearms is like one of the things I like people to learn how to do all that stuff, man. I mean, there's no point in having a firearm if you can't do the maintenance or common repairs and maintenances and stuff like that. I mean, it's as simple as field stripping a weapon. I think my kids, like my daughter, for instance, I told her with her 22, I was like, look, you're gonna know how to field strip that thing down before you go out and shoot it. And her at 6 years old, she's 8 now, or 22, she can break that thing down, dude, put it back together, tell you parts, and then coach you on your trigger discipline. I mean, that's the way to do it. And guns are for everybody in the United States. They are not just for law enforcement. They are not just for people who are former military or currently in active duty. It's for everybody. Second Amendment. One thing I do think though, and there's been a few people, and it's been kind of an outrage type thing that's been going on. We've all seen people shooting switches, or they're blicky or whatever the hell they call them. I'm all about Second Amendment. One thing I will say though, when you've got idiots who are living in like a major city area, out in the middle of the night, they've got a switch. There's like a parking lot, and then there's like a Denny's or gas stations or whatever, buildings and houses, or it doesn't matter. They're over there just blasting bullets all over the place, dude, just spraying them all over. And it's just like, do you guys even realize that those bullets, regardless, if something's not 20 feet in front of you, you're shooting them all off like this. They need to fall down somewhere at some point. They're going somewhere at some point. I mean, what if you had like somebody who, for instance, like a jogger, late night jogger running down the block or whatever, I don't know. All of a sudden they get lit up because some idiot thought it'd be cool to make a video for Instagram. But, don't get me wrong, switches are badass, dude. I just think the people that, most of the people that have them are complete idiot criminals. And Second Amendment or no Second Amendment, these complete idiot criminals are still going to have guns with switches on them. So why screw over all the good people? Just a thought. So, that's I don't know. That's been on my mind a while lately. Hopefully, we'll get some good years in here for firearms for everybody. But that is my rant, guys. You guys all have a good evening. Thanks for watching. More content coming out for you as well.